So, you know how, like, some days, very rare, but some days, you totally feel like you have this adulting thing, like, down pat, and all of your shit is completely together and all the jazz, right? Yeah, today was my day for that. I was doing laundry and I'm washing all the bedding and I'm washing all the pillows and all of the clothes, and everything's getting folded as it's coming out of the dryer, which never happens in my house. And I am feeling like I have finally mastered this whole adulting thing. And then I took out my sheets from the dryer, and this is what has happened. Like, the sheet split in two, and now it's all, now I don't have sheets for my bed, and I can't, because it's ripped, and I, like, it's, and then I wonder why I even bothered, because adulting is stupid, much like pull-throughs. We are not doing a pull-through today, and this has nothing whatsoever to do with the pour we are doing, but, you know, welcome to my stupid world. I will tell you all about the pour that we are doing today in just a minute, but before I do, hello, I am Mrs. Soap and Clay. Let's make stuff. How's it going, Sudzers? Welcome back to the channel. You're at Soap and Clay, where we make all the soapy things, and you are here for day 338 of 365 days of soap, and today we are doing Georgia May's attempt at the Ghost Swirls challenge. Amy Warden, Auntie Clara, all of the things that I love. Yes. Now, the Soaprentice decided to take this to like a literal level, and she is she wants to make her swirls actually look like a ghost, or I think more accurately like the Scream mask from the Scream movies, because that's super epic. And so yeah, we should stop talking here and go to the video, and I can unravel this tangled mess of whatever and see what kind of chaos I'm working with my top sheet, you know, while we do that. Okay, day 2 of the Ghost Swirl Challenge, and you are 100% going to hear screaming children in the background because they are having fun with their 2 BFFs that live next door, and it's almost dinner time, and I have about 10 minutes before they come in here and, you know, cry for dinner. So they're doing their thing, and I would be just mean to tell them to be quiet for something as silly as a YouTube video. Let kids be kids. All the jazz. So yes, Georgia May is doing her Ghost Swirl challenge for the Amy Warden Soap Challenge thing, and she actually, yesterday I used a red clay, I used a Rasool, and today she decided to use a mix of activated charcoal and kaolin clay because she is taking this idea of a ghost swirl very literally. Now, just for funsies, just pay attention to the amount of clay that she has dumped into that beaker, as well as activated charcoal. I get asked a number of times on the channel how much clay, and I've told you that the one time in one video, an FAQ, I believe, and I'm not going to tell you again. So, and I'm not going to tell you again because it's a fun little, you know, it's a game that I'm playing at this point, really. So, yes, a not insignificant amount of clay. When you talk about a teaspoon per pound or a tablespoon, no, way more. Just Just notice these things. Now, she's going to mix all of the clays directly into the oils themselves. And the reason why she's doing this is because she is, I mean, obviously we're doing the Ghost Swirl Challenge. And with the Ghost Swirl Challenge, you have, you know, you're working with water reductions to actually create the swirls. Because, you know, the less water that you use in a batch of soap, well, it does a lot of really interesting things, really. I mean, A, your bar will harden faster, which is interesting. 2, depending on the amount of water that you have in your recipes, it can create glycerin rivers if you're actively going for that, or it can create effectively the reverse of glycerin rivers, which is, you know, what we saw in yesterday's, you know, soap challenge. Ghost swirls are amazing. I mean, if you have not, I don't think Auntie Clara has a YouTube channel, but she definitely has a website and a blog. And if you have not familiarized yourself with Auntie Clara yet, go do that, because she's delightful. Her designs, like, she does not go over the top with these crazy unicorn rainbow vomit soap piping, all of the crazy. She doesn't do any of that, but her soaps are so freaking stunning with simplicity. Like, she takes it to what is the least amount of things that I can put into my soap to create a really cool, you know, design. And I've talked about her stuff before on the channel. I think when we were doing the natural red for the dish soaps for a wholesale account back during Christmas, that was one of the things. I had done this and I'm like losing my mind using like 5 different types of things with the alkanet and all of the whatever, right? And then she posted this thing, like after I'd finished my soaps, on one of the soap pages, and all she had used was ferrocrete. And she had these stunning, gorgeous red bars of just pure perfection. And I went, well done, Auntie Clara. Thank you for being you. Because she's delightful just across the board. And so if you like looking at beautiful soaps and lovely photography, go check her out. But also check out, you know, the Soaprentice here. What she has done at this point is she has split the oils into 2 equal portions, and she has taken the lye solutions, and I showed you that yesterday in that recipe yesterday for this, one at a 30% and one at a 45%, and put them into their respective containers and mix them to a trace. Now, she also measured out the scent blend to be very precise too into each, you know, portion. And it's interesting how just putting the scent blend in like that, it changes it, which, you know, it usually does. The scent blend usually changes the initial color of the soap batter, kind of, even if it says it's not going to discolor. However, we already know that this one is going to discolor because it said so on the label. And again, this scent blend, beautiful, smells absolutely delightful. I knew it was going to discolor going in, and we both decided to use that discoloration to our advantage. And you can already see the difference in colors with hers, just like you were able to see it with mine with the red clay yesterday with the Rasul. So this will be a fun pour, and we're gonna go, you know, check it out right now because fun pours are always fun. So let's go. Okay, and on to the pour with all of this. And as I said, Georgia May decided to take this ghost swirl literally. And so what she is going for, the reason why she is doing this activated charcoal and kaolin clay mix is because she was going for literal freaking ghosts. And I feel you, sister. Again, don't be a messy soaper. Well, not in the soap and clay soap shop. It's kind of just what we are. And yes, so yeah, she takes it to, she's decided to take it very literally, and she is actually trying to create ghosts in hers. And I went, that's delightful. I can't wait to see how that, you know, goes down. And so what she is doing here is just sort of like a chaotic pour, really. And, you know, kind of mine was yesterday as well. Did some layers, did some whatever, took a hanger to it, all of the jazz. It's cool, 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 cool. But I'm fascinated to see if she actually gets some ghosts within all of this. Because when she told me that this is what she wanted to do, I was 100% here for that. Like, that's cool. That's, yes. And also, like, since we've been revisiting the Amy Warden Soap Challenge things or whatever, this one was so much fun for both of us that I started teaching it in classes. And so I do the soap classes at the shop, and we've been doing a series for ghost swirls, which is actually very cool, especially for people who take a number of my classes. And at this point, there are loads of people who have taken, you know, over 30 of my classes just to come do the thing. And so you know, at some point you start to get hard pressed on, okay, so what can we actually do to make this class different, right? And so when I started, I've been doing this for the last little bit, the last couple weeks or whatever, and they freaking love it. Like, they've been sending me pictures with their cuts going, this was so much fun, this is so weird, like we put no color in it, we put, you know, whatever, and look what happened, this is cool. And I love that. I this is why this is a very cool soap technique. The idea of it being challenging, it's not really challenging. I mean, having figured out that this is a thing, now that's the challenging part, that's the chemistry part, that's the awesome part. But once you are just given instructions that say, hey, you know, do this piece at 30% lye concentration and this piece at 45% lye concentration, I mean, you'll do it, and it will create cool, awesome things, as evidenced by, again, all of the people who've been taking my soap classes in the last few weeks, sending me all these pictures of their cuts, just like so tickled pink that it like worked and it was cool and all of the things. And I love that, because it's simple, but at the same time highly complicated ish, because the chemistry in the background and actually knowing what water does to your batch and what lye concentrations do and all the things, that's where the tough stuff is, which is, I mean, that's totally, that's my jam. Like, that's where I exist in the soap world, is the chemistry behind it, and you do that and it's awesome. Now this will be C-popped and gelled, and let's go cut it. Okay, and on to the cut. Now, as I said, this definitely gets C-popped and gelled. And the reason for that is the C-pop process is actually very important for the different lye concentrations doing their things inside the bar itself. And so taking that extra heat phase to it, it's a good idea. And I was so excited for this when she told me that, like, she was like planning on doing an actual ghost like face, like that was her goal, that I had to be here for the cut. And so yeah, you'll totally see my hands like darting in and out of the shot there, because oh my god, like look what she did. Look at that, it looks like a little ghost face. Like, that's freaking cool. It looks like those first 2-3 that she pulled, the upside down version of it, looks like the mask, the ghost mask from Scream. Like, and that actually kind of looks like something that you would see in like Fallout. I'm pretty sure that's what I'm going with for that. Any video game soapers out there? Do you guys want to be my friends? Because I like video games, and no one talks to me about video games anymore. It's always just soap. But yeah, like this is really cool. These bars are beautiful. Like, she had a very interesting idea with all of this, and I'll be damned if it didn't like work. It looks ghostly. That's very cool. And again, I keep going in and out with this because I just like, this is amazing. It was a cool idea. It was a cool thought process. And I love that it has activated charcoal and kaolin clay in it. So it's a complete double whammy with all of the awesome. You have your very gentle clay with your kaolin. That's great for all skin types. But then you have the good detox with the activated charcoal. And she thinks that one looks like a badger, I think she said, or maybe a skunk. I don't remember. But she saw an animal in that. Soap Rorschach abounds with this pour for sure. Like, you can see so many different things in it, which is, again, one of the reasons I prefer swirls over layers 100% of the time, because you can see all kinds of crazy shit in swirled soaps that maybe you wouldn't see, and I mean, you definitely wouldn't see in a layered bar. So all of that. And I think these bars are absolutely gorgeous. They smell incredible. This was definitely a good scent from Lone Star. And so all of that, you know, big win for sure. And yeah, that is day 338, the Soaprentice's attempt at the Ghost Swirls Challenge. Look, I did it. I did it. I did it. And that's, it ripped. It ripped in my dryer. Like, what even... Thanks, Samsung. Super appreciate that. It's fun. Yes. Anyway, that was Georgia May's Ghost Swirl, and wasn't it wonderful? Like, there were actual little ghost faces in hers. It was so smart. It was so inventive. She did a really excellent job with that, for sure. And as you can see, it's 2 for 2. Nothing weird happens. There's no lie heavy pockets anywhere. There's nothing to really be afraid of. As long as you know that your your actual amount of the lye that goes into your soap is dialed into the oils, then you're fine. You can totally play with the water, and lots of cool things happen as a result. If you are interested in either one of these bars, you can find them today at soapandclay.com for sure. If you're interested in seeing other soapy antics and all the rest of the scents that we test for Maple Street, subscribe to the channel. That would be amazing. For those of you who are subscribed to the channel, hey, thank you, Sudzer. You are amazing. I hope you guys had fun today. I certainly did, except for the adulting bit. That was less fun. But I'm out of here for today. I need to go order some more sheets, I guess. And I will see you guys all again tomorrow for another round of soapy fun. Bye.